Hello, and welcome to my Uber's UU Draft League series. In this series, I'll be covering my experience with the LLL, aka the Little Legends League. I'm one of 12 players in Pool C, and each week I'll be playing a different opponent in only one game. If you've seen some other Draft League content, this is pretty similar, the key difference being that every player is going to have one or two Uber's UU monsters, like Zacian and Palkia. For this video, I'm going to be discussing my draft picks and what value I think they provide. So without further ado, I present the OKC Thundurus. My first pick was Magearna, and for those of you who've played UUbers, which we know wonder why, Magearna has it all. Incredible typing, great stats, and a vast move pool. Magearna is going to form the backbone of my team's defensive core with its typing and highly customizable bulk. For reference, this thing can lift things like Earth's Power from Landorus, or an Earthquake from Landorus Therian. It has great utility options like Spikes, Encore, Thunderwave, and Pivoting. I can also take it in an offensive direction, opting for the Stored Power Demon Mag as it's known, or simply investing in Special Attack and choosing from a plethora of coverage options. Overall, I didn't see a reason to not pick Magearna. Continuing with my idea of building a solid defensive backbone is Giratina. With a gargantuan 150 HP and 120 defenses, Giratina is one of the bulkiest guys of all time. Giratina can pretty much stop anything that doesn't have powerful super effective stab. It can deny setup with Roar or Dragon Tail and cripple threats with Thunderwave or Will-O-Wisp. Furthermore, it synergizes well with Magearna as it shares no weaknesses. With its ghost typing, it can provide valuable spin blocking for the hazards that Magearna sets. It's also not an entirely passive wall like Blissey. With 100 in both offenses, Giratina is potent enough to threaten back with a Stab Shadow Ball, Draco Meteor, or other options like Hex. Giratina is my team's answer to powerful offensive threats and can prevent me from getting swept. Coming in as the third member of my defensive triumvirate is Slowking. Bulky water types are always a good thing to have. Combine that with Regenerator and Slow Pivoting, and you have a very valuable team member. Slowking provides tools that Giratina and Magearna cannot. Firstly, it can shrug off minor damage with Regenerator, and that's a trait that cannot be overstated. Slowking is incredibly difficult to wear down and has a lot of tools to take advantage of its extended time in the battle. It has several options for setup, support, and the famously whack Gen 1 move pool for attacks. It also matches up well into Sun and Rain, both of which are popular archetypes in Draft. T Reception as a way to pivot and change weather is a fantastic move, and I'll discuss it a bit more with a later pick. But between Magearna, Giratina, and Slowking, I think I have a great defensive core that I can work with against pretty much any team. Coming in at my fourth pick is the team mascot, Thundurus Therian. After building my defensive core, I needed to pick up some powerful attackers, and Thundurus is exactly that, boasting a massive 145 special attack and a good speed tier at 101. Thundurus can exert lots of pressure on teams, especially ones lacking a solid electric immunity. Thundurus can break walls with Nasty Plot, provide speed control with the Choice Scarf, and has multiple pivoting options to boot. On top of that, Thundurus has valuable immunities to ground and electric, both of which are good offensive type that my team may otherwise struggle against. Thundurus provides value to the team deserving of its mascot status. My next pick was Espathra. Espathra is simple, but under the right circumstances it can be devastating. The primary reason to run Espathra is for its speed boost and stored power sets, which after a couple of calm minds can sweep entire teams. Espathra isn't as powerful in draft because it can't terastallize, but it can put in a lot of work regardless. It has potential to break with Lumina Crash, which drops the opponent's special defense by 2 stages, and Opportunist, which copies stat changes, also has some potential, working like Mirror Urban and ability. Espathra isn't enough of a threat that my opponents are going to be forced to prepare for it, whether or not I choose to bring it. Now that I had 2 strong special attackers, I needed a physical attacker to round out my offensive game plan, and Mienshao is a great solution, as it packs a lot of power and speed. Fighting Stab is a good thing for my team given the general dark weakness, and Mienshao also has powerful coverage options in Knockoff, Triple Axle, and more. Mienshao also has an interesting selection of abilities. Inner Focus lets it ignore Intimidate users trying to weaken it, Regenerator makes it difficult to wear down, and Reckless allows it to go all out with power. As a physical attacker with an interesting set of tools, Mienshao is a great fit for the team. Only certain weaker Pokemon are allowed to terrestrialize in this league, and for my first Terra Captain, I chose Necrozma, its Terra types of Psychic, Fire, and Steel. Necrozma is a great Terra Captain for a few reasons. Firstly, as my third Psychic type, being able to change type is a great way to justify picking it as that third Psychic type. Secondly, Necrozma can viably run physical or special sets, which synergizes well with Terra Blast and Photon Geyser since both can be either physical or special. Necrozma also has a wide move pool to take advantage of this, which makes it very unpredictable. Overall, I think preparing for Necrozma is incredibly hard to do, which will make it a great team member. For my second Terra Captain, I chose Alolan Sandslash with Terra types of Ice, Ground, and Flying. I knew early on that I wanted to pick Sandslash because of its low cost and synergy with Slowking. Chilly Reception allows Slowking to safely bring Sandslash in and set up Snow for it, which boosts its already impressive defense stat and, more importantly, activates Slush Rush. With access to Swords Dance, Sandslash can become a dangerous sweeper. As a Terra Captain, I can also play Mind Games, which when I choose to terrestrialize it, which gives it a better chance to set up Swords Dance. If Sandslash gets the opportunity to set up, it can do massive damage and possibly end the game on the spot. Now towards the end of the draft, I'd choose some less valuable Pokemon. Although Alolan Dugtrio doesn't quite fit in with monsters like Magearna and Giratina, it still has some redeeming qualities. Firstly, it gives me access to a ground type, which is always good, although it wasn't as important for this team since Thundurus provides that crucial electric immunity. Secondly, it has a great speed tier at 110, allowing it to outrun and threaten most of the league with stab earthquakes. Lastly, it has some nifty utility options like Stealth Rocks and Memento. I don't expect to bring Dugtrio often, but it could provide what I need in a couple of games. For my third and final Terra Captain, I chose Swalot, with Terra types of Poison, Dark, and Grass. On paper, Swalot doesn't look like a whole lot. It has painfully mediocre stats across the board except for its good HP. However, after playing a good amount of ZU, a tier where Swalot is quite good, I've come to recognize its potential. Thanks to that 100 HP and workable 83 defenses, it can function as a check to many attackers. It has access to moves that can boost pretty much any of its stats, which makes it unpredictable. Is it going to Calm Mind, Acid Armor, Swords Dance? Who knows? It also has good utility options in Toxic Spikes, Encore, and Destiny Bond. Sticky Hold is also a handy ability, which can pair well with something like a Rocky Helmet, meaning that you can't knock it off, and it forces you to continue taking contact damage. There's a reason I'm the only person out of 36 to have chosen Swalot, but I think I can make it work. As my last pick, I have Tarountula, if that's how you say it, I don't even know. At this point in the draft, there wasn't a lot for me to work with, and nothing says bottom of the barrel like the guy who evolves into Spidops. However, Tarountula gives me access to Sticky Web, which is incredibly powerful. This is the only reason he's here. There's a reasonable chance that I'm never going to bring Tarountula, I don't know how to say it still, but it at least gives me the option to play hyper offensively. And with that, that is every member of the OKC Thundurus. I may make some minor changes as provided by the trade and Terra type change rules, but if those come up, I'll mention them. I'm looking forward to playing in the league, especially since I've teamed with Wi-Fi from Pool B and Nebula from Pool A. Together, the Losers Club, as we've called ourselves, will surely come to dominate the league. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll check in over the next couple months to see what I've been cooking.